Close to the camera. See, look, he's 5 pounds right now.
We're here at the media day for the 2021 Bassmaster Classic on Ray Roberts.
This is a tank. Look at the size of this thing.
Progress we've made so far on our Hobie PA14. Got it wired up for 12 volt right now. We got the B127. That money!
That's a monster!
Got one. Took him long enough, didn't it? He knows. You know that's your outro. I know, but I mean, like, I was waiting on you because, like, you just kind of put me on the spot and it's like it didn't flow. Like, whatever. All right, guys. All right, guys, what's going on? I want to thank y'all for tuning in to One Objective tonight, guys. We got a really good show lined up for y'all. It's a special show. It's a let's keep it in the family kind of show.
There you go.
You know what I mean? We've been just super slammed with family events, Thanksgiving, just odd and end things that we've been doing. And hunting season's come in, and it's been a grind since muzzleloaders come in. We don't do bow, but since muzzleloaders come in, it's been a grind with me and my son hunting and taking my daughter hunting, and we've been on that hunt for Matthew's first deer this year, and we were able to finally get that. But we also had a special moment when all that went down, and we're going to be talking about that here in just a little while. Also, we got a contest that is going on right now. If you haven't seen it on our Instagram page, make sure you go on our Instagram page, One Objective Bass Fishing Instagram page. And we're going to be doing a contest. We're going to be giving away, since we just got back on with Missile Baits, there for a while, we kind of ended a lot of our sponsorship stuff because One Objective was in a whole big, just turn of events, things we were doing. We were trying to get our shop together. We were trying to keep growing our business. And it was just so much going on that we couldn't put the effort in to help support these sponsors or push these sponsors like we should. And we went in tournament fishing. So we pulled back from it. We just pushed back and didn't do a lot of it. So now we're back with Missile Baits. Love Missile Baits. They've always been great for the show, to us with the show and all that. So we're back with them. They're sponsoring the show as well. So a big thank you to Missile Baits and for all you've done. And I mean, basically since day one when y'all signed on with us. So super excited to have them on. But since we got them on, we're going to be doing a contest. So you go in and we talk about it on Instagram video. You go in and you like our One Objective outdoor page on Instagram. And then you go, and to get a double entry, you go into our One Objective Outdoor YouTube channel, our new channel that we just started. And you go in there and subscribe to that. It gives you a double entry. And what you're going to be winning is pretty much a jig pack. You're going to be getting we're going to be picking two winners. You're going to be getting a Missile Jigs starter kit. Basically, you can get your jig and a trailer pack. And we're just going to be picking 2 winners out of our Instagram and out of our One Objective Outdoors YouTube channel as well. So make sure you get into that. But you can go on our Instagram, like I said, 20 times already, it feels like. Go in there, check it out, and get entered in that contest. Also, we have our sale going on right now. So we have got so many things going on in my head. So we got our Yak Attack stuff's is on sale right now, and also our One Objective products are on sale right now. So if now is the time to get into rigging your kayak, we got the deals for you. The sale ends tomorrow night, so make sure you get in on it. With our mounts, with all the gear to rig out for Yak Attack stuff, all that. So make sure you get in on that. So, but anywho, that's basically it right now. We are kind of waiting. We're in limbo right now on what we're going to fish next year. We got a couple of things I'm hoping that we can announce here soon, here in the next week or two, once we find out that we're in. So hopefully we'll be able to announce that here soon. Also, we're still waiting on the Bassmaster Kayak Open Series stuff. So haven't come out of their schedule yet. I'm really hoping that they're going to be releasing this here soon. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. I want to thank everybody that's tuned in so far that's joining us. But if you haven't, please go hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel right now, One Objective Bass Fishing, and our One Objective Outdoors channel. Make sure you go over and hit the subscribe button there. And we got new content coming out. We got a lot of content that's already planned to come out on the outdoor side with hunting and fishing. I'm going to tell you what, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit here in a little while. It's hard. It's really hard to film a hunting trip for me. Like bass fishing, you turn the camera on, man. You just sit back and you do your thing, you know.
Oh, sorry about that. Why did that? I didn't even click on
it. But anyways, I mean, you know, it's just it's difficult, and I'm like I say, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But and then once we have this session with our special guest, and then we're gonna be talking early winter. I say late fall, early winter bass fishing. So, but let's go ahead, Chris, get our special guest in.
All right.
Boom, there he is.
Yeah.
Matthew Carter. Look, he is sitting in the captain's chair right now. I mean, that's where I normally sit at to run this show. So I don't know if this is going to be something that we're going to be having Matthew running the show soon, and I can just sit back and go up there and eat me some potato chips and watch football on Sunday night, or I can just be fishing or what. I don't know, but we're going to have Matthew's going to start taking over. So what do you think about that, man? You going to start taking over and just talking bass fishing every Sunday night?
I don't know yet.
He said, I don't know, man. This is my first show. Don't put me on the spot with a new job that I've never even tried yet. So, but Matthew, I want to thank you for coming on with me. I know that between you and your sister, you always want to come on and join in on the show and all this. And I never really seem to have that topic to get you guys on. And look, Brittany says, hey, Matthew, congratulations, buddy. She's congratulating you on your first deer, man.
Thank you.
And but I want to have both of y'all on, but it's really hard to have that right topic to have you guys on. And now that me and you were able to take the time, and we've been putting in time. I mean, Matthew, I say it's all because of you, because your drive here lately to kill a deer was out of this world. Like, I mean, I don't think I even had that hard of a drive to go kill a deer like you did. And I mean, what was it that really set that drive for last year? We went at it, right? I mean, we fished. I mean, sorry, we hunted. I don't know what, maybe 5-6 times, something like that. How many times did we hunt last year?
Yeah, I think you were about right, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like that. So,
and it was 0 results. You know what I mean? Kids at that age a lot of times don't want to go after a while. You know what I mean? It's tough. It's tough for kids to enjoy that. And when it's just kind of like going fishing every day and not catching nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's tough. So you've had this drive. What is it that you love about hunting that over everything else you've done? I mean, you've played football, you've go-kart raced, you ride four-wheelers and dirt bikes and all that stuff. But what is it about hunting that you like so much that keeps pushing you to try to get your first deer?
It was just the outdoors, and once I finally got that first deer, I was just hooked to it.
Yeah,
because the adrenaline and
the
feeling you got after getting the first deer.
Yeah, you were shaking. I mean, you had the opportunity, and we'll tell the story here in a minute to get a buck, but it was you were so focused on, because we've had a lot of opportunities this year for you to get your first one that just fell apart. And I mean, we've had a couple of does come up that's either smelled us. We've actually had a couple bucks come up that have smelled us, and it just ain't worked out. But you've been persistent with it, and it was because of you. We woke up early, because I'm not a morning person at all. Like I love hunting, but I hate to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to go hunting. When Matthew set his alarm, and all of a sudden I heard it going off in the morning, I was like, "What is that?" And Tammy's like, "That's Matthew's alarm. He's ready to go hunting." And I'm like, "Oh, all right." So anyways, you got up, and that was the day that you pulled the trigger on your first deer. You want to talk a little bit about it? You want to talk about how it all went down in that morning?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So pretty much we got out to the woods, and it was quiet for a while. And it was raining the night before, so you couldn't hear anything. Then all of a sudden, I just look over and see movement in the woods, and it was a doe. Then I saw the doe keep looking behind it, and it was like what 8-point buck, I think.
Yeah, that was an 8-pointer.
Then they started walking deeper into the woods. I couldn't get a shot on them because all the trees. They finally got to where I could shoot them, but the buck kept hiding behind trees and kept looking like he was gonna run back towards the field. And I had so many clear shots on the doe, so I just finally pulled the trigger on the doe.
And you dropped it.
Yeah.
She didn't go nowhere. I mean, it was perfect shot with a muzzleloader. And I'm going to tell everybody, I was a little nervous with Matthew shooting the muzzleloader, but this boy never turns down the opportunity to pull a trigger on a gun. Like, I mean, he's ready to shoot the 30-06. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, let's shoot the 243. Let's shoot the muzzleloader can kind of rock you a little bit too. And practice shooting, man, you were hammer on after we scoped her in, got her scoped in. You were hitting dead on with it. And but kind of talking about that buck, I mean, after we pulled the trigger, what was going through your mind? Like, I mean, the excitement. I mean, what was you just thinking?
Jerky.
Deer jerky. And now hamburger or deer burger, because we had some delicious deer burger today for dinner before you went to church. So now it's jerky and deer burger.
Yeah.
That we're excited about. But Yak Basson said congratulations too.
Thank you.
But so after we dropped that doe, what happened? After you dropped that doe, what happened next?
So I handed the gun over to you because then the buck started walking out. It didn't even run anywhere. It just looked at the doe laying there on the ground. So I handed you the gun, and it told you if you got a clear shot to shoot it, because that was your biggest deer you've ever shot. So you reloaded the gun. Buck watched you load the gun. Didn't even run. So it came out from behind the trees finally. Then he shot it. Then you shot it. So
yeah,
both got one.
Yeah, it was a crazy morning, but I caught crap from a few people on this, but like, yeah, let the boys shoot the doe and you shoot the buck, whatever. We know how that story went down. And Matthew, I insisted, like, hey, buddy, you want to shoot it? You want to shoot it? And he's like, no, I want both of us to be able to have a deer today. And it was a special moment because we were sitting in tree stand together. You got your doe, your first doe. I got the biggest deer I've ever killed. And thought we lost it at first because it took off running. That deer, he didn't even look like he was shot, did he? I mean, like he just.
No, he started walking. Then after he walked for a while, he started limping a little bit.
Yeah. Then he run 50 yards. And then he ended up going down. Thanks for joining us, Hooks and Hammocks. Hammocks. Thanks for joining us tonight. But anyways, so we're down there. We see your doe go down. And then you text your mom because she's not far from the woods here. She can hear the gunshot go off, and she's texting who shot it. So she texts us and was like, hey, got a big buck down here. Wondering if it was ours because our house ain't that far from where we're hunting at. So that was a monster buck. I mean, me and you, we come back loaded up because we was going to get the 4-wheeler, and it was a big buck standing there. And that one was way bigger than the ones that we seen in the woods earlier. That was like a 10-pointer or something.
Yeah, it looked like a 10-pointer.
But it laid down in the field. We was trying to get permission from the guy to even shoot it. It just didn't work out. And it's fine because now we know that hopefully he's still over here. So, but now you are on the hunt for what now?
Hopefully my first buck.
Yeah. I'd love to get 2 of your first in 1 year, right?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And you had the opportunity the other night. Things didn't work out. I don't think you wounded it. We didn't see nothing that seemed as if you shot it and wounded it or anything like that.
I think I just missed it.
Yeah, just buck fever. I think buck fever kicked in, man. and just, that's how it goes. It happens to the best of us. And at your age, experiencing buck fever is like, it's the biggest adrenaline rush I could imagine going through right now. Well, when that dude come out of there, because he looked up at you, right? Yeah. What was your thought? I mean, how did you process it? Was you even breathing? Do you remember breathing?
Oh, I don't. I literally think I stopped breathing when it stopped and looked up at me.
Yeah. And he was like right under your tree stand, right?
He got right in front of the ladder
Yeah.
and just looked up at me. I was trying to move the gun and he heard it clinking around.
Shaking. Now that's awesome. That's the one thing though, because Matthew is at the age now, and I feel confident in his shooting ability after practicing with them and all that in areas that we're hunting. That I put him in his own stand, and the new land that we're hunting right now on my dad's side, we basically seen all the buck activity down there around your stand. That's where we put you at, because we was like, I bet you this is gonna be the best spot to see the most amount of deer, And then I've been up there hunting at the upper end, which I shot a pretty decent buck the other day out of there, which I do feel bad because I'm like, man. And I said, Matthew, we got to get you in this stand. You're like, no, I'm good. I'm going to still hunt down here because I know that big buck's down here. And then I shot two last night, two little does. Well, one was a little bunt buck, but I thought it was a doe. But Matthew's like, can I hunt in this stand now?
I'm sitting down in the stand and all I hear is pow. Then another one right after was pow. I thought it couldn't be him because usually he'd only shoot one bullet off with the rifle. So I just texted him because it sounded really close. And he got two of them.
Which was cool because I got to experience that with your sister. Because we've been hunting a couple times. Once this year where I was near hammered down on a buck. And I think it was the one that I shot that was chasing your doe. That was chasing that doe up there, and I was gonna try to get it then, but never made it happen. And I was curious how your sister was gonna do, if she was gonna cry, if she was gonna, you know what I mean? I don't know how it was gonna go.
I got up there. Alyssa was like, I caught the bullet. I said, what? And she was talking about one of the bullet casings came out and landed in her lap. It sounded like she said it ricocheted and came back and hit her in the lap.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Yeah, when I loaded up again, it cocked the shell out and landed. I didn't even think about it when I did that, and it just landed right in her lap. And lucky it didn't burn because those things are pretty hot. But
yeah, that's what I was wondering. I thought it burnt her for a second.
So what have you learned this year? So last year it was just kind of like a new experience and actually trying to get into the motion and doing things right with deer hunting. What is the biggest thing you've learned this year so far, deer hunting and trying to get that buck?
You just gotta be like really still and like have confidence in yourself, because I wasn't sure if I would shoot the deer in the right place or not. Like in the years we hunted before, I wasn't as still as this one. I feel like that might have been a lot of it. Like the deer might have hurt us.
Yeah.
And we hunted a lot over at Granny Pawpaw's. Deer over there really sensitive. So.
Yeah, they're a lot different than they are here. Like in the subdivision we live in. Now I say it's subdivision. It's not like a normal subdivision. Like we got farmland around us, but the road that we live on, there's, I got a horse farm near me, and then we got my father-in-law's farm up above me. But there's always houses down through here, and these farms kind of connect behind. But these deer around here are just a little more. They're just used to people. They're the smells and the activity and the beating and banging and all that stuff. They're just used to it. But over on Granny Pawpaw's land, they're not like that, are they? They're
no, like that's that one doe I told him about the other day. I guess it smelled me, but also we didn't put no scent on. But they're so much more sensitive over there because I didn't even move or anything, and this one doe just came right up to me. I guess it smelled me and just started blowing and stomping at me and everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really move.
Yeah. I could hear it down there blowing at you. And I got to laughing because I'm texting him and I'm like, is that a deer blowing? And he's like, yeah, she's looking right at me. And then she'd move and blow at you again and move and blow at you again. And then she left, right?
Yeah, she left 3 times and came back. All 3 of them. I told her if she comes back again and I get a shot, I'm going to shoot her.
Got to get the smart one out of the herd there. Yeah. She was pretty smart. Because I think that's the same one when I got into the stand and I turned around to look behind me and she started blowing. And that's when she ran. I think she ran down your way. So everywhere she was going, she was cranky. She was telling everybody where we were at. And that's why I texted him too. I was like, man, you get the chance, shoot her. And then that's when he's like, yeah, I'm going to. So,
And it didn't look like a small doe either. It looked like a decent sized doe.
yeah, she's the wise one. She's the one that's been around for a while, probably. But we got a lot of buck activity around your stand where you've been hunting at. And in the stand I'm at, we got a lot of buck activity. But I think we're going to do some more homework. We're going to dig into this thing. We're going to learn more about these deer, right? We'll get some game cameras and kind of dig into it for next year. Like this year was our kind of breaking in. We're getting broke in here, and we're going to hammer it down next year. But anything else that you learn, like different? I mean, I know we're talking about, sitting still and all that. Is there anything else that you can think of that, for a new person hunting, like a new person getting into hunting? I mean, is there any advice or anything that you've learned so far about it?
I'm trying to think.
I mean, a lot of it's probably patience, right?
Yeah, a lot of it is patience.
I mean, we've been several times. You more than me because of that spot down there. You've been several times and haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's patience and just kind of ride it out. And then I'm just thinking, just because conversations we've had, I know you're a little nervous and trying to think. I'm putting you on the spot on some of these questions. Is probably just when you don't really feel like going, it's still going. Because that day I shot the buck up there, what did I tell you? We wasn't going to go.
Yeah. You said you didn't want to go because it was like 4-something in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah. And it was like super cold outside.
Yeah.
He came in there and asked me if I wanted to go. I said it's up to him. He said we probably weren't going to go, and he came back in my room 5 minutes later and said, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah. So it's just like I was telling your mom earlier, because we were thinking about going today, and then it's been kind of a rainy day, which probably looking outside looked like it probably been an awesome day to be in the woods. But I think we hit it so hard all through Thanksgiving holiday that we probably needed a break.
I'm tired of getting 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. It is tiresome. It's tough, and it's dedication. And I mean, there's people out there way dedicated than we are, to this hunting deal and all that. And so next year we're gonna and guys that are following us, you'll be able to see on One Objective Outdoor channel. We're gonna start doing more pictures. We're gonna be doing our trail cameras. We're gonna be doing some vlogs on things that we're gonna start doing to try to bring these deer in. And me and you got some ideas on some things we want to do with. We got the ability, I guess, to grow, crops and all that over there, or we got the room to do it, not the ability right now. It's just trying to get the equipment for the tilling and this stuff. So I don't know how all that's going to go, but we've talked about what corn and mineral blocks and all that stuff, just trying to pull them in there and start feeding these deer up. Once hunting season's over, we're probably going to start into it, and we'll set some game cameras up and start watching these deer progress. And I'm really excited about the spring, and seeing what's starting to grow. What are you excited about? If we get some game cameras, what are you excited about seeing with it? You know what I mean? And learning with it.
I'm kind of going to be excited to see like what time the deer come through and where, and the bucks grow through the season, through the year.
Yeah. And I think we're going to probably working on some deer stands this year too, changing up some things and all that. So, but I mean, for next year's goals, I mean, we got one of your goals this year. We got your doe. We got your first deer. It didn't matter if it was a doe or a buck. We got your first deer. Now your next goal, what's to get your buck, right?
Yep.
So what's next year's goals? What are we looking at for that? Are we going to look at more deer management, or are we going to look at just trying to herd out, thin out some does, or are you just still looking for that big? You still going to be going for that big one?
Probably going to be going for the big one.
I've been cut off. I can't kill no more. This is probably the best year I've had. So I want Matthew this year, and next year is going to be like Matthew's year with, putting food on the table, but also working on getting that big buck, but it's hard, man, when that big one walks out and you're way over there and I'm over here, man, it's gonna be hard not to pull that trigger. You gonna be upset? Are you gonna be upset when that big 14 border comes walking out and I blast him?
Maybe a little.
No, I'm just kidding, man. Like I say, we all know how it is when buck fever kicks in, but
Yeah.
I wish you the best for sure on getting a big buck. I've been praying for you to get you a big one. And man, when you told me that you pulled a trigger on that big buck, because I heard it, and you said it was a big one, man, my heart just was like, I was so excited for you. I don't know what I was more excited for, when you killed your first one and I was in the tree stand with you, or when you said you shot that big one. And it was disappointing when we couldn't find it. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's fine. I was definitely shaking more so when I shot that first deer because I didn't know like what emotions would go through my head and stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if I'd be like happy or sad, but I was definitely happy.
It is a side that, like I was telling baby girl yesterday, that it is a side to you. Like you do, like you understand that's food. You know what I mean? You're putting food in the freezer. It's also deer management. You know what I mean? You got to herd out. You got to get some of the does out, and the deer ratio, doe to buck ratio. And it's good to harvest a few does. You know what I mean? You got to. It is kind of, if you didn't feel bad at all, then I don't know what kind of person you are. You know what I mean?
You can't help but to feel a little bad.
Yeah. But in aside of it too, you're excited, you know what I mean? Because you've been putting in all this time to even do this. So, but anyways, yeah. So, like I say, it was cool though when you got that first one. Man, we were screaming and hollering, and I was like, yeah, good job, Matthew. And you're looking at you like, yeah, I'm like, I'm so proud. And that buck's standing there looking at us like,
I don't know what noise I made when I shot that doe. I was like,
I'm trying to put a video together of one of our hunts. I was going through the footage of it's kind of like all over. It's hard to film everything. Now, if I was just filming my hunts, that's really hard. But where me and Matthew, we're both big dudes. He's 13. I'm just a big dude. So Matthew's big, I'm big. It runs in our DNA. But for us to sit in a buddy stand together, if he's got to make any kind of turns to shoot around behind, it's just not feasible. So we've kind of been putting each other, and we've been in our own stands. But I think next year we're going to probably have another stand above it, buddy stand, so we can film. Yeah,
that was like at the beginning of this year when the rut was first starting. We saw a buck chasing a doe through the woods, and it was on his side. So he was trying to lean over while I'm trying to put the muzzleloader on his back so I could shoot at it.
Yeah. I'm like, Matthew, because this wasn't something we discussed before we got into that situation. I'm like, I'm gonna lean forward, and you just put the muzzleloader on my back. You're gonna shoot him. But I think he ended up. That's the one I got the content of. He ended up like, I don't know if he smelled us or they were freaking out, doing weird stuff over there, chasing them does and all that stuff. Like they would turn real hard and run back the other way, and then come back some other. It was just weird. But anyways, got you one. Now we're in the hunt for a big one. We got a few more weeks left. I think rifle ends December 16th. I think I'm right on that. I got to look back at it.
After that, we still got the late seasons and stuff.
Yeah, we got late season. We're gonna have to see that. I think it's gonna be getting time for me to start getting back into my fishing deal, and us getting out on the lake, maybe catching some deeper fish, and we'll see. We'll see how the schedule is. I don't like sitting in a tree stand when it is ungodly cold. Lake muzzleloader, we're looking at like days of high 20s, So I don't know. We'll have to see. It's gonna be hard to pry old dad out of that recliner chair by the wood stove when it's 20 degrees outside.
Just bring one of those portable propane heaters.
Yeah.
Just put it in the tree stand.
Yeah. But buddy, I really appreciate you joining and coming on and talking deer hunting. And I know you got school tomorrow, so we can't keep you much longer. But I've really enjoyed spending the time with you in the tree stand and just experiencing your first kill. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't have been as cool if I was in another tree stand when you got your kill. I still would have been excited for you, but it would have been so much. It was so much more enjoyable being in the stand and watching it all go down and seeing the excitement on your face and you shaking and all that. You know what I mean? Like it was so fun, and I've enjoyed every moment. And even when I've killed something, the excitement you had for me, you know what I mean? It shows me what kind of heart you have, and that your love for the sport. You know what I mean? And seeing others do well. You know, you're going to go a long ways if you keep that attitude to the rest of your life. You know what I mean? And you've showed me a lot on your I don't know how your mentality with hunting, but also just how responsible you are at your age for what you do with hunting and all that stuff. And you're soaking it in, man. And I love it. You know what I mean? You're soaking all this in when we're talking about it in the woods, and I'm showing you scrapes and all the excitement you get for it. It means a lot. I love seeing you into something outdoors as much as you are with hunting. So, I know fishing is, you like fishing, but it's not your favorite. I know hunting is your go-to baby. And I appreciate, I respect that, because I don't expect you to like the same things that I like. You know, you're human. We're all different. So, but Matthew, I really appreciate you coming on, buddy. You better get upstairs for your mama gets me and you, for you not getting ready for bed. but other than that, man, I appreciate it. And you got anything else you want to add before you get off here?
Not really. No.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. It's your first time on on an outdoor fishing show. Killed your first a doe this year, your first deer. Man, if you get your first buck, it's a first for everything for you. So, all right, buddy. Well, I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
Love you, bud.
Love you. Bye.
All right. Well, like I said, it was an experience that I hope that he'll never forget, and this experience that I'll never forget. And then with my daughter, with getting the first kill with her being in a stand, I hope that's something that she never forgets. And as fathers and mothers and all that, I think it's very important that we get our children outdoors, and that we get them interested in something. And whether it be hunting, whether it be fishing, any kind of recreational sports, anything, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get them outdoors. You got to get them into something. It's okay to play the video games, but get them out of that, get them outdoors, so that when they get older, they have something when they have kids to pass down, other than, playing video games. So, like I say, if you get a chance, get a kid outdoors, whether it's your kid or someone else's kid, get them that exposure to the outdoors, because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it might not always be hunting, it might not always be fishing, but it's going to be something they remember, and that they're going to want when they get older. That's going to click in their head. Like, man, I remember that time I went fishing and had a good time, and I'd like to do it again. So I'm always encouraging people to get someone outdoors and enjoying the outdoors, because it's something that keeps this alive. These are the next generations, and whether it comes to fishing or hunting, it's up to them to make sure this sport, whether it's hunting, fishing, whatever, keeps continuing on. So, but anywho, Chris, we still got you there. I know you're.
Yeah, we're here.
I know you're sitting there running the show and all that, and I didn't get to ask you before, man. But how's things been going with you? I mean, how was your Thanksgiving? You and Brittany have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving.
Did you eat too much?
No, not really.
Man,
I mean, we had a lot of food, but I didn't eat too much. But
yeah,
still got some left over.
I did. I ate way too much. Like, I paid for it. So we do my wife's family on Thursday, and then we do my family on Friday, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And just, I paid for it. Paid for it in a big way there by Saturday. By Saturday. So,
I can imagine.
Yeah. So, but man, it was
the same procedure when we eat a lot of wings.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically that same procedure.
Well, there you go.
So, but it was fun. I hope everybody else had a good time with their family and friends and loved ones for Thanksgiving and all that. I also want to say a big thank you to Yak Basson. He was out serving our country and keeping our country safe, and just got home not too long ago. So I hope he got to enjoy his time with his family on Thanksgiving. We're glad to have you back. He's one of our pro staff members and big team player. He best decision we ever made was, getting him on our team. So I'm really appreciative of him. I'm really appreciative of all of our other military and first responders and doctors and nurses and all that you didn't change your background, man.
What was it? It's supposed to be my. What is it?
Is that your new house?
No, I thought I clicked on it, but I didn't click to change it. Hold on. None.
But anyways, I just want to thank all our first responders and military and all that for doing what they do. I mean, it takes a special person, and I don't think y'all get enough appreciation for it. So thank you.
Is my background still the same?
No, it looks black now. It's just black.
Well, my screen shows it being
really
in my room. Yeah.
Yeah. That was weird. It was like you had a brand new house.
Well, I clicked on it, but it wasn't supposed to change. I was supposed to just look at them.
It's like it froze up and everything.
Well, let's see. I'll look at it on the screen.
But anyways, we're gonna kind of get into a little bit of fall fishing. Something that has been big for me. Late fall, early winter. I love it. I love getting out there when it's cold. Fishing wise, it's funny. I love getting out there when it's cold and I can go fishing, but I can't sitting still, not moving. I get stiff as a board sitting in a tree stand, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to get out of here. But you push through, and you hoping a deer is going to come out of that thicket at any moment. So, but anyways, I love it. There's some really big fish to be caught. They're feeding up. They're getting ready for the winter. And the ones that have already fed up are sitting down in their deep holes, just waiting it out. And it's just fun. It's a really fun time. Now that we got the live scope on the boat and we really figured out, there you go. Yeah. Wow. And then we got everything figured out now with, reading this thing and learning this thing. Every time I got to learn something new about it. And if you guys have seen in some of the shorts, some of the fish we've caught here lately, it's, not all because of live scope, but some of it is. And it's just, but I'm going to tell you, I'm really excited to get out there this winter and use it and try to find some of these deeper fish that I've never been able to find. I've never been really good at finding those deeper ones. So a lot of times for me and James, especially, is been cranking spinner baits and crankbaits. Chris, we like throwing Carolina rigs too when we get into out there. Old Zoom U-tail watermelon seed. That's like been our deal when we go up there in the wintertime, dragging a ball and chain around. But there's some of the kind of things, but for me, I'm always looking, I'm always trying to find that spot to work that crankbait around, or sometimes I'll take a Cinco and throw it under some of those deep docks, and I've caught some big ones like that. But I'm ready to get out there and try some of these jigging spoons and find some of these. I have found a lot of deep brush piles here lately, and to be able to try to make this happen, But Chris, you've had the experience when we went out fishing last time. If y'all seen that short video I put up of me and Chris, we went out, got on a few fish, nothing monsters. It was kind of a very slow day.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, we found some on the live scope, but nothing was active. We couldn't get nothing going. It seemed like got in one spot and caught two on a jig, like that was the most active spot we've had. And they weren't monsters. They wasn't real big fish, but
no.
But anyways, had a good time. And but for guys that are just getting out there and learning where to target these fish and what to look for and what baits to throw, I'm going to start off with, for me, it's a Shad Rap. I love throwing a Shad Rap in the shad color. And I'm getting a little deeper diver one. I'm getting one that you can get anywhere with 8 to 10 foot, something like that. And I'm throwing it on a lot lighter line. I mean, 10-pound test. I've gone down to, on a spinning reel, to 8-pound test. And now that we got the Shimano's, the finesse casters that we can throw lighter line on, I'm excited to try that here soon. Which, if y'all haven't seen that video on YouTube on our One Objective Outdoors channel, I'm talking about it. And I got a comparison video coming up where I'm going over that one and the Scorpion, which is made by Shimano as well. Very identical reels, but anyways, but what I'm mainly going to be looking for if I didn't have live scope and I'm just going out there, I'm looking for points. I'm looking for main channel and secondary, the first secondary points. You know what I mean? Like when you first come into the creek and you got a little point there in the main channel creeks. So I'll work my way in from the main to the secondary. And after that, a lot of times I don't go no further back, not unless I'm seeing a lot of bait fish back there. Now, right now, it seems like fall is kind of hanging on. Like, we're having some really cool days like winter's here. And then we're starting to have these days where you'll have, what this week is supposed to be 60s.
Yep.
All this week or something like that with the lows not really cold. I think we got a couple 20s. Let's see.
I don't think so. Not around here.
I don't have none. Yeah. Everything's
supposed
50.
to rain one day, but
Thursday's like 24 and Wednesday's 33. But after that, all the lows are like in the 40s.
Yeah. There you go. Not cold at all.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
cold,
it's
not hot, but
yeah. So it's like fall is just trying to hang on. And now, granted, what's going to happen is what they say, in like a lamb, out like a lion. You're probably going to just have one heck of a
it'll be
January.
All January.
Yeah. So, but if the bait fish are still back there, like right now, that you're going to still find some bait fish in the back. A couple of things I like to do if I get back there and I'm throwing like a jerk bait, because if you're not fishing a tournament and you just want to get back there, and there might be stripers back there. And you've seen this new video we got coming up. I ended up getting into a little thing of stripers. I just ran out of time. I couldn't stay back there with them much longer. I had to get going. But anyways, you're gonna find a lot of bait fish in those pockets and those creeks. And you can work your crankbaits back there, and you work your flukes and all that stuff and jigs. I like to go in there if there's a big population of bait fish, and I know they're so keyed in onto that bait fish. Sometimes I like to go in with either a Senko or a jig and flip around to get some of those fish that might want to hone in on a crawfish that's near instead of chasing them bait fish for a while, taking a break. You know what I mean? An easy snack coming by their face.
Yeah.
That's a big thing to me. But it's also key though to match that hatch. If you can end up getting one of those shad, or you see one floating on the top, trying to find that bait that is that size. And I'll tell you this, we got the new 6 Sense Finesse F4 crankbaits. Them things are killer, man. They are freaking awesome. They got some really great colors. We ended up getting a whole stock of them in. We got them on our oneobjectivebf.com, our website. And just go in there and check them out. Even if you don't want to buy, just go in there and check them out. Those crankbaits are phenomenal. Got the computer chip board. Just the action of those baits is really good. James in his last video did a number on them in the river down there near his house, and caught a few good ones with it. So I've thrown it a couple times. I haven't had no success on it, but man, for me here lately with the live scope, I've been throwing an A-rig a lot. And I need to, I've been trying to learn that more, because what I always do is throw a crankbait or a jig or a spinnerbait this time of year. So I need to get away from that and go back to what I normally do so I can start catching some more fish, because I've been struggling here lately catching fish. So I need to get back into that. But yeah, so what I will start in, like I say, I'm going to go from the main channel points then to the secondary points. If I see bait fish back here, I'll ride back here in a couple pockets. If I don't see them anymore, I don't even waste my time with it anymore. I stay to the main and to the secondary, and I'm finding those things that are irregular, like a rock bank that's changing, a big riprap bank that's changing to pea gravel, or pea gravel to mud, stuff that I can grind that crankbait into coming down through there. And then if I don't get nothing on my way back through, just on the transitions, I might take a jig or a Carolina rig and throw out there and work on those transitions. But I'm trying to find the banks that are the deepest. Now, a couple things you can do, like say if your bait fish are back there early in the mornings on those flats, you can kind of go back there with a crankbait. Some people like throwing a rattle trap and just try to, coax some of those fish into biting on those flats in the very back where the bait fish are at. But like say, if they're not there, I'm not even worried about all that stuff. I'm working crankbaits, I'm working jigs, Carolina rigs, and occasionally, well, right now, when the water temperature starts hitting 55, that's when I'm really picking up the jerk bait, and I'm working a jerk bait a lot. I know some guys like it colder. 55 is my number. That's when I'm going at it. Pickwick, temperatures were about 63 when I was down there, and I was throwing a buzzbait. For some reason, I can't seem to get the buzzbait bite going in the fall in the last 2 years at Smith. I can catch one here and there, but it doesn't ever seem like it's a consistent pattern for me. So I'll throw it. I mean, Chris, I was with him that when I never gave up on it, did I?
We threw it till our arms fell off.
I was trying to make it work, and it's really hard to do that during the fall. Like, you just need to be able to have the whole kitchen sink up front with different crankbaits and different jigs and stuff like that to figure out what they want instead of just trying to force this bite, that might not ever work. So, but like say after that, if I can't seem to get them going, I'm going to start trying to find the rock bluffs on the main channel of the lake where I can go through, get real tight to the bank and throw some spinner baits where I can let it fall and work those banging those rocks and stuff like that. And like I say, throwing a jig some more on the main channel. If that don't work, then that's when I start going over to my finesse style stuff where I'm throwing drop shots and just trying to get a bite then, or you're just trying to generate a bite to see if there's even anything there. It's been several times that I've gone out there and tried the reaction bite and didn't work. And I'm like, man, I'm going to pick up this. And you'll catch 2 or 3 little dinks on a drop shot, and then boom, you catch a 4-pounder. And then boom, you catch a 2, and then you catch a few more dinks. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just got to wing through those. So in fall into winter, it's just, it's just trying everything. You know what I mean? From the secondaries to the main. Is what you're trying to do the whole way. I mean, we've been on Smith before where we've caught them on secondary points, and then that bite ends, and then all of a sudden you move out to the main, and then you start just slamming them again. So they're everywhere at this point, and it's just kind of like early spring where you got the first waves that are coming in to spawn, but you still got some out there on the main channel and the deep ledges. It's the same deal with the fall. You got fish that are already came in and fed and are kind of moving back out there, but you also got fish that are still making that wave and coming in to feed because they're all not doing it at the same time. Fish are like humans to a point where they all got their own personality. They're going to do something different every time. I swear. It's just, I can go to Bugs Island and can catch them on main channel points all day long. You come to Smith, you could come to Smith the very next day and you can't find a fish. You can't find bait fish on the main channel. It's just, each lake is so different. So that's why I always tell people I start from the main and work my way in. For the first few hours, I'm always going back and looking and seeing, even if I don't see them flickering on the top, I'm graphing to see where those bait fish are. I've done that, especially like practicing. When I'm practicing for a tournament in the fall, early winter, that's all I'm doing mainly is graphing until I find bait fish. And then I start looking, I start looking at the secondaries or the creek channel swings in the backs of the creeks and stuff like that. So, but like say, cranking, jerkbait, jig, and a Carolina rig is going to be my top 4. And then every once in a while, I'm going to throw in a buzz bait and like a Cinco style bait or a drop shot or something finessey, in there on them. So, that's kind of my little tip on, fall fishing. Maybe next time we'll try to go ahead and get us a guest on that we can do, talk some tournament fishing, talk some bass fishing and all that. I really did enjoy having my son on today. Like it was just I know he's nervous, but it was fun to have him on and talk hunting. And he's really been wanting to do a hunting show. Like he's been wanting One Objective Outdoors to have a podcast show and work on that. But time wise, we can barely keep this one going on a regular basis. So it's going to be hard to do another one like that. But anyways, guys, if y'all got any questions, always feel free to ask. You can always comment on, or you can email us at oneobjectivebf@gmail.com. You can email us there. Questions about fishing. We do take some phone calls here and there, but during a weekday, it's tough because of just work, work related questions and stuff like that. You can always message us on Facebook and Instagram. We don't get to them right away, but we do eventually get to them. So if you got any questions, always feel free to message us. Also check out oneobjectivebf.com. We got more and more tackle you keep adding. So make sure you go in there and check that out. We also got our Thanksgiving sale going on right now. That's going to end Monday night. So if you're in the rigging your kayak right now or your bass boat, we got some new Ranger 198P stuff on there. We also got graph, graph cover holders and rod rod straps and all that stuff on there. We got a few boat things, and we got more coming. So make sure you go in there and check all that out. And also make sure you get involved in our contest we're doing, so you have a chance at winning you some missile jig and some trailers and all that stuff that we're going to be doing, just doing a giveaway with that. So but other than that, I mean, Chris, we got anything? Did I forget anything? We seem good.
No, I think you covered everything, I believe.
All right, man. Well, guys, I really appreciate y'all taking the time and joining in on us and joining in with us and talking hunting and talking fishing. And if you guys enjoy the hunting segment, I know a lot of you guys just fish. I get that. And if y'all wouldn't mind seeing some of that coming in, and seeing some of the hunting side of things and things that we do, let us know. I mean, we'd love to, get some more people on and talk hunting. If you guys are into that, I know this is One Objective Bass Fishing. But if y'all are interested in us kind of going and doing some different things here and there, let us know. We would love to get on there. So, and also our One Objective Outdoor channel on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, because that's going to be the behind the scenes basically of One Objective Bass Fishing. That's One Objective Bass Fishing has become our install, our how-to, tricking out kayaks, tricking out bass boats. All that stuff's going to be there, but our One Objective Outdoors is going to be our family stuff. It's going to be like this deer jerky. We're making some deer jerky right now. Probably the next video is going to be doing how we made it, So for you guys that hunt or want to make deer jerky, you could do the same thing with beef. You don't have to have deer meat to do it, but we're going to be doing some recipe stuff. And then we're going to be doing our vlog on growing big bucks. That's our goal next year, is to, next several years growing some big bucks. So, but if you guys enjoy that, make sure you go over to One Objective Outdoors and hit that subscribe button. And please hit the subscribe button on One Objective One Objective Bass Fishing as well. But anyways, guys, we'll talk to you later. I hope you guys had a safe holiday weekend. And if we don't talk to you before Christmas, I'm hoping we do. We'll try to get some more shows up here before then. I hope you guys have a safe holiday season with your family and friends. Other than that, guys, we'll talk to you later. See you.